Hello, Peppers, especially my grade 5 PEP students who have their PEP coming up in just about 7 weeks or so. Right, so I'm going to be giving you 12 tips on how to approach the math performance tasks. Now, I know that this is something that a lot of students dread. They don't like the performance task because they see it as problem solving, which it is, but a lot of kids don't like to see worded problems. So they already have that mental block and they feel intimidated and they feel like they just can't manage. But tell you what, once you follow these tips, you will definitely see that the math performance task is not only manageable, but you will absolutely breeze through it. Right? Now, the performance task, it will test how you think and your ability to explain, not just if you can get the right answer, but you have to show you're working and you have to explain how you arrived at the answer. So here's how to grab all of those marks and ensure that you get the full 100%. So before you start writing, tip number one, ensure that you read the whole scenario first. Remember, the performance task is going to be giving you a scenario, and you're going to be asked to complete a task in relation to that scenario, right? So the performance task gives a story. Maybe, for example, planning a party, building a garden, or running a tuck shop. You need to read all of it before you even touch your pencil. Then you're going to pick up your pencil and underline the question that they're actually asking you to do. What is the task? Right? That is important, and you need to underline that. Tip number two, find the math keywords. Now, I want you to take your pencil and you're going to circle words like total, difference, each, per, all together, left, like how much is left, area, perimeter, share equally. These words are keywords and they tell you which operation you're going to need to perform. Are you going to add? Are you going to subtract? Are you going to multiply, divide, square a number, find the root of a number? All of these things are important. And you have to justify and explain why you chose those operations. So it's not just to be working with numbers and writing the working out. You have to explain in words, right? And you start by underlining the keywords that the performance task has already given you, because that is going to make all of the difference. So the third tip, check what you're allowed to use. Now, you are usually going to be using your ruler for the math performance task. You could use card, especially if you're working with the circle, right? Maybe some grid paper, but usually if you're using the grid paper, this will be provided for you. If you find that the question is asking about a grid and you have not received a paper, just raise your hand and ask the invigilator if you're supposed to get a grid paper. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Remember, the invigilator is human. He or she can make mistakes. If you're supposed to get a particular thing, you see it on the paper and you're not given that thing, just ask. If there's a table or a diagram, use the table or the diagram that is presented. It's there to help you to answer the question. Now, while you're solving the performance task, my fourth tip is to use rucksack every time. RUCSAC, rucksack. And that means read, understand, choose the operation, solve, answer, and then check. So let's go again. Rucksack, read carefully, understand, make sure you understand what the task is, choose the operation that you're going to use or operations, solve, answer the question, and check to make sure that you followed all the necessary steps. Write the letters in the margin if it helps you to remember. Tip number 5, show all your work in, even the easy steps. Don't take anything for granted. Don't say, oh, the examiner knows what I'm doing. The examiner understands what I mean. No, show all the steps. 24 divided by 6 equals 4. That will get you 1 mark. 24 divided by 6 equals 4 because 6 times 4 equals 24 can get you 2 marks. So if you take the time to explain step by step, you will get your maximum marks. If your answer is wrong, but your method is right, you still can earn some method marks. And all in Jamaica, we say, every mickle make a muckle. Every little bit will add up to your total mark. So you don't want to deprive yourself of all the marks that you can get. Tip number 6, label everything. If you're asked to work the area, 24 centimeters squared, for example, not just 24. Remember your units. So you can't find the area and say the area is 24. It has to have the units. And remember, area is measured in square units, volume is measured in cube units, whereas perimeter is just the units. And you have to include those, right? If you are asked to draw something, make sure you label all the sides, all the angles, and put in your units. If you're using the grid, make sure you label all sides of the grid. And if you're drawing interior structures within the grid, make sure you label them as well. If you don't have your labels, you're going to lose marks, even if the number is right. So if you're asked to find the area and you got 24, even if the digits should be 24, you're losing marks because you did not say 24 centimeters square or meters square. Area is measured in square units, and you must have the square units for area, the cube units for volume, and the regular units for perimeter. For example, if you're dealing with your angles, make sure you put in your degrees, things like that. Tip number 7, draw a model if you're stuck. So if you're given the worded section, you internalize it, you try to interpret it. Draw a diagram. And this will help the examiner to understand that this is how you're seeing the problem in your head, right? So you can have bar models, charts, an array of diagrams, or just a simple sketch to show your interpretation of the problem. And this can help with fractions, sharing, area, perimeter, and PEP loves to see your visual thinking. They love to see how you have internalized and interpreted the question. And you might get some marks because when they see how you have internalized it and it matches with your working out, then they'll know, okay, so this student was coming from this angle and that's why they did that particular working out. You might not get the full marks because the answer itself might be incorrect, but you might earn some working out points, right? Tip number 8, make sure that you answer in complete sentences, especially for the section that says explain. So for example, why is package A the better buy? Don't just say cheaper. Don't just say cheaper. For example, you might say package A is a better buy because it costs $4.50 for 500 grams, while package B costs $5 for 400 grams. It gives more for less money. That is a good answer, right? Don't assume that the examiner already understands what you are thinking. You need to explain, make comparisons, make contrasts, and answer in complete sentences. Tip number 9, check if your answer makes sense. If you calculated that one pencil costs $250, stop right there. So reread it. For real life problems, ask, would this happen in real life? If not, you may have misplaced a decimal point. So you need to look back at your answer and see, does it really make sense? Based on what you're being asked for, does this answer make practical sense? If it doesn't make sense logically, then go back and see if maybe you have overlooked something or you put the decimal points in the wrong place, right? So just check. Now, in terms of time and your strategy for your strategic approach to the test, tip number 10, you need to budget your time by the marks that are allotted to that question. So, for example, 4 marks for a question needs 4 things. Okay? If the question values 4 marks, generally it needs 4 things. So maybe the calculation, maybe they're marking for the unit, maybe they're marking for explanation, and check. So don't spend 10 minutes on a 1 mark section. Do the easy mark sections first and then come back and spend more time on those questions that have more marks. And don't leave blank. Answer all questions. Even if you're not sure, try something. Make an educated guess, a common sense guess. If you end up having to guess, make a common sense guess. So I think you multiply because each bag has 5. That might get you some partial credit, but the blank gets you 0 credits. So it's better to chance it and present something. Say what you're thinking. And you might just be right. But you stand a chance of getting some marks as opposed to just leaving that question blank. With nothing there, you will get no marks. And tip number 12, make sure that you review with your checklist. So for the last 5 minutes, you have some time to look over. Did I answer all parts? Some questions are part A, part B, part C. Did I answer all parts? Did I show my working? Did I include my units? Did I explain where I was asked to explain? And did I go back and check that my calculations were correct? Now, remember that you need to practice at home. You need to go over the past papers that have been available from 2019 when the first sitting of the PEP. So now we have a couple years of past papers that we can look back at, as well as the booklets and instruments that have been created by the Ministry of Education to help students and teachers and parents to navigate this space of PEP. So these are the things that you can practice at home. Things having to do with money and making change, things having to do with measurement and converting measurement units, area, perimeter of combined shapes, fractions, offsets, time and scheduling, data from tables, graphs, and multi-step word problems. These are the types of things that you can practice at home because at this level, these are the things that are tested for in the PEP. And remember, you are being tested for your reasoning skills and you have to explain what is your reasoning, what's the logic behind the answers that you provided. Once you're able to do that and you can show how you're thinking, how you came to your answer, you're already winning the marks, right? So remember, I know a lot of you don't like problem solving, you don't like the worded questions, you don't like the performance stars, but this is preparing you for real life when you're going to be faced with situations that you have to maneuver your way through and decide, how am I going to spend my money? How am I going to construct things around my yard, around my business? These are very practical things that will help you further in life. And this is what the PEP is preparing you for. So embrace it, follow those tips, and you'll be just fine.